Hi, I'm Rob, pastor of Calvary Chapel, Turlock. What should a Christian think about the recent controversial speech of Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker? If you weren't aware of it, Butker gave the commencement speech at Benedictine College, a Catholic school in Kansas. Most of his speech was an in-house challenge for Roman Catholics to be more pure in their faith and practice. Now, normally this type of speech would simply make the local newspapers and nothing more. But Harrison Butker, a professional football player and a Super Bowl champ, made the grave error of criticizing the left and their stranglehold on contemporary culture. He condemned transgenderism. He called the President of the United States a delusional Catholic for being pro-abortion. He made reference to the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and called contemporary morals degenerate cultural values. He took a shot at the LGBT community by disparaging the deadly sins sort of pride that has a month dedicated to it. And if that weren't enough to raise the ire of progressive apostles, Butker crossed the Rubicon with his blitz against modern feminism. He challenged the female graduates to seek the unequal vocation of wife and mother, warning them not to accept the diabolical lies told to women. Then he publicly praised his wife for staying home and putting their family first as she leans into her vocation as a homemaker. And now, after a few weeks of carpet-bombing criticism from the left, Butker had the audacity to recently come out and say that he stands by every word of his address. He cherishes his conservative convictions and has absolutely no regrets about his commencement speech at Benedictine College. Harrison Butker is a staunch Roman Catholic, dedicated to the Latin Mass. So we have very different traditions. Nonetheless, as an evangelical Christian, I think we should stand up and applaud a man who is willing to put everything on the line for his Judeo-Christian values. Many have called openly for his dismissal from the NFL. What a different nation this would be if more evangelicals stood up in the same manner and faced the culture head-on by passionately proclaiming godly principles of righteousness. God ordained the roles of men and women. He ordained the natural family. He ordained monogamous human sexuality. And yet so often we feel completely overwhelmed by the tsunami of progressive social immorality that we merely seek to save ourselves, cloistered behind the protective wall of an insular sanctuary. And the left continues to evangelize the world with their destructive propaganda. Nor does it help that many of the big names in evangelicalism are doing the exact opposite of Harrison Butker. Joel Osteen, Andy Stanley, Rick Warren, Bill Hybels, Russell Moore, David French, Brian McLaren, cartoonist Phil Vischer, and many more are actively moving the church closer to contemporary culture. They have almost nothing negative to say about the degenerate cultural values, as Butker put it. Self-reflection is always good. David asked the Lord to search his heart. The Apostle Paul told us to examine ourselves. When a young Roman Catholic can stand up and articulate righteous living with greater conviction and clarity than many of our evangelical leaders, it's time to take stock of our movement. Are we really representing Christ to this world, or are we simply trying to grow our churches for the sake of growth? The church growth movement has made many of our fellowships heretical monsters. So let's evaluate ourselves and get back to the basics. Let's go forth and make disciples of all nations by teaching them to live by faith according to the commands of Christ. Let's take the play call from a Roman Catholic kicker. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.